Miyamoto Musashi was born in a world of war, swords, and strict codes of honor. Yet from a young age, he stood apart, drawn to the path of mastery and discipline. Even as a child, he reportedly challenged older boys, learning quickly that skill, patience, and strategy mattered more than brute strength or fear. By the time he reached his teens, Musashi had already participated in his first duel, demonstrating cunning, agility, and a fearlessness that would define his life forever. Sources suggest he wandered Japan as a teenager, practicing swordsmanship tirelessly, learning from masters, and observing every technique he could find to perfect his own style. He became known not just for his skill, but for his ability to remain calm, read opponents, and anticipate moves before they occurred in battle. During a time when feudal lords sought to expand power through conflict, Musashi's unmatched dueling ability began to earn him a reputation that spread across provinces quickly. By his 20s, he was allegedly undefeated, having fought dozens of duels and emerged victorious through technique, timing, and understanding of human psychology on the battlefield. But Musashi's life was not merely a collection of victories. It was also a journey of philosophy, strategy, and relentless personal discipline that would influence generations. He developed a dual sword style, known as Nitten Ichi Raiur, allowing him to fight with two swords simultaneously, a method few could ever counter effectively in duels. Each duel he fought was not just about winning, but about perfecting his craft, learning the weaknesses of himself and others, and testing the boundaries of martial skill. By all accounts, Musashi's life was one of constant movement, traveling across Japan, never staying in one place for long, always seeking new opponents and experiences. He fought reportedly more than 60 duels in his life, never losing, a record that made him a legend even in his own time and inspired fear among rival samurai. But his story was not only about fighting. Musashi studied strategy, philosophy, and the nature of conflict deeply, writing notes that later became the Book of Five Rings. In these writings, he reflected on the principles of combat, mental clarity, and understanding the world around him, emphasizing that winning requires awareness as much as skill. Musashi's life was also marked by solitude, reportedly choosing to train alone in forests, mountains, and near rivers, observing nature and refining both body and mind. He combined practical skill with theory, a rarity among samurai, understanding that mental flexibility and situational awareness were more important than brute force. Some sources suggest that Musashi sometimes intentionally sought weaker opponents to study tactics, patience, and timing without unnecessary risk, improving his adaptability in the process. He became known not just for winning duels, but for surviving, for understanding when to strike, and for mastering the art of reading an opponent's intentions. By midlife, Musashi had achieved mastery of multiple martial arts, including swordsmanship, strategy, and the use of environment as a tool during combat. His reputation was so vast that even enemies sometimes surrendered before a duel began, intimidated by stories of his precision, speed, and psychological insight. But despite his fame, Musashi reportedly remained humble, focusing on personal improvement rather than accolades, always searching for deeper understanding of life and combat. He began writing his observations on strategy and philosophy in what became the Book of Five Rings, blending lessons from duels, travels, and personal meditation. His philosophy emphasized flexibility, timing, and awareness, teaching that the mind must control the body, and that understanding the opponent is as important as physical skill. Musashi's life also illustrates the balance between solitude and society, as he spent years alone, yet engaged with lords, rivals, and followers who sought to learn from his experience. Every duel and encounter contributed to a deeper understanding of conflict, showing that mastery comes from observing patterns, learning weaknesses, and practicing relentlessly. Even when outnumbered or facing superior forces, Musashi reportedly relied on strategy, cunning, and improvisation, turning disadvantage into opportunity, an approach rare among samurai of his era. He became a symbol of the warrior spirit, disciplined, analytical, fearless, and always moving toward perfection of skill and mind. Musashi's travels took him across Japan, from Kyoto to distant provinces, dueling notable swordsmen and refining his dual sword techniques, always learning, never complacent. He reportedly fought in both formal duels and spontaneous encounters, treating each as an opportunity to grow, rather than merely to defeat an opponent. Even legends describe moments when Musashi faced multiple attackers simultaneously, using awareness, footwork, and two swords to survive encounters that seemed impossible. But it was not only physical skill that defined him. His writings show a deep understanding of timing, strategy, patience, and the human psyche in combat. He emphasized that victories in duels are won before swords even clash, through perception, calmness, and anticipation of the opponent's intent. Musashi also explored spiritual and philosophical aspects of martial life, reportedly meditating for hours to strengthen focus, resolve, and self-awareness. Some historians suggest that these meditative practices contributed to his extraordinary success in duels and his ability to maintain composure under extreme pressure. His later life was devoted to reflection, teaching, and writing, demonstrating that mastery requires both experience and contemplation, combining action with thought. Even today, Musashi's dual sword techniques and tactical insights are studied by martial artists, historians, and strategists as timeless lessons in adaptability and preparation. Many stories suggest Musashi challenged himself against the best of his era, seeking worthy opponents not for fame but for growth, understanding, and refinement of his art. His life exemplifies the idea that mastery is an endless journey where every challenge contributes to greater knowledge, skill, and wisdom. He left behind a legacy that blends practical combat skills with philosophy, illustrating that a warrior's greatest battle is often with himself. Musashi's philosophy continues to inspire not just martial artists, but anyone pursuing excellence, resilience, and clarity in their personal or professional life. The story of his early duels, his journeys, and his philosophical writings all converge to show a life dedicated to mastery of mind, body, and spirit. Even centuries later, Miyamoto Musashi is remembered as the undefeated swordsman, strategist, and thinker who transformed the meaning of combat, discipline, and wisdom in Japan. Musashi's later duels demonstrated not only unmatched skill but also extraordinary adaptability, as he often defeated younger, stronger opponents through precision, timing, and psychological insight. He reportedly analyzed each enemy's style, predicted their reactions, and used terrain, footwork, and dual sword techniques to control even the most chaotic fights. One famous duel illustrates this perfectly. Musashi arrived late, appearing distracted, then turned the engagement into a lesson in observation, patience, and lethal timing. This approach baffled opponents and inspired future generations, as he showed that true mastery lies in understanding, not just physical strength or aggression. Even as he aged, Musashi's commitment to continuous improvement never wavered, training diligently, refining his techniques, and passing on lessons through students and writings. The Book of Five Rings captures these insights, blending practical swordsmanship with strategic and philosophical principles applicable beyond combat into life and leadership itself. Musashi emphasized that awareness, adaptability, and psychological mastery are more important than rigid rules or reliance on power alone. In his philosophy, victory begins in the mind, and preparation, observation, and calm decisiveness determine the outcome before a sword is ever drawn. Historians note that Musashi's lifestyle reflected discipline, focus, and self-reliance. He traveled lightly, lived simply, and sought knowledge in both martial arts and life. He also practiced Zen meditation, reportedly enhancing clarity, focus, and the ability to remain unshaken even in life-threatening duels. His understanding of timing, space, and human behavior allowed him to face multiple attackers simultaneously, turning overwhelming odds into manageable scenarios through clever tactics. Musashi's mastery was not confined to physical technique. He cultivated an intuitive understanding of strategy, learning from every engagement, success, and apparent mistake. In some accounts, he challenged entire schools of swordsmen, defeating the best students while gaining insight into emerging techniques, preserving his edge over rivals. By documenting his insights in the Book of Five Rings, Musashi ensured that his knowledge of strategy, adaptability, and combat psychology could endure beyond his lifetime. This book teaches lessons on flexibility, timing, awareness, and the importance of adapting methods to changing circumstances, making it timeless in both martial and non-martial contexts. Musashi's life also illustrates that mastery is a lifelong pursuit, where victories are not only measured by duels won, but by growth, resilience, and understanding of self. Even in later years, he continued to challenge himself, reportedly taking on increasingly difficult opponents to refine his dual sword techniques and mental acuity. Musashi's reputation inspired both fear and respect, as his skill was matched by his discipline, humility, and relentless pursuit of self-improvement. Many duels are remembered not just for the outcome, but for the lessons Musashi imparted on observation, patience, and the subtle balance between offense and defense. His philosophy extended beyond combat. He stressed that awareness, adaptability, and mental discipline are critical in any challenge, whether on the battlefield or in life. Musashi became a living legend, not only undefeated but also embodying the principles of strategy, philosophy, and continuous growth for generations to come. Through decades of wandering, dueling, and reflection, he became a symbol of mastery, demonstrating that preparation, courage, and insight outweigh brute force. Even when facing formidable, well-trained samurai, Musashi reportedly used subtle psychological tactics, feints, and deception to destabilize opponents before striking decisively. His dual sword techniques were revolutionary, allowing simultaneous offense and defense, giving him unmatched flexibility and speed in combat. Musashi's life teaches that true mastery involves constant learning, observation, and the willingness to face challenges without fear or arrogance. He reportedly valued solitude and reflection as much as combat training, understanding that clarity of mind is as vital as clarity of technique. Over time, Musashi's legend spread across Japan, inspiring samurai, strategists, and philosophers to study both his methods and his writings. His philosophy emphasizes that victory depends on understanding, timing, and adaptability, not merely courage or physical power. The lessons of his life extend beyond the battlefield, showing that persistence, discipline, and continuous self-refinement create lasting influence. Musashi's ability to remain undefeated while constantly seeking improvement demonstrates a balance between confidence and humility that few can emulate. He became not only a warrior, but also a thinker, strategist, and teacher whose work continues to influence martial arts and leadership today. By combining physical skill, mental acuity, and philosophical insight, Musashi turned each duel into both a test and a lesson, elevating combat into art. His story illustrates that mastery is a journey, where every encounter, victory, or apparent defeat contributes to growth and understanding. Even centuries later, Miyamoto Musashi is remembered as the undefeated swordsman, strategist, and philosopher who transcended mere martial skill. He transformed swordsmanship into a reflection of life itself, blending strategy, psychology, and philosophy in ways that resonate even in modern contexts. Musashi's legacy is not only measured by victories, but by the timeless insights he left on discipline, observation, and adaptability. The duels he fought, the strategies he devised, and the teachings he wrote all converge to inspire anyone pursuing excellence in any field. Miyamoto Musashi lived a life dedicated to self-mastery, showing that true power comes from understanding, preparation, and continual refinement of mind and body. His path was not easy, yet his story demonstrates that focus, courage, and insight can overcome even the most daunting challenges. Musashi's philosophy teaches that flexibility, patience, and awareness can turn disadvantage into advantage, making seemingly impossible goals attainable. He is remembered not only as a samurai but as a symbol of discipline, strategy, and relentless pursuit of perfection. Even today, martial artists, strategists, and leaders study his life and writings to understand the principles of timing, adaptability, and human psychology. The life of Miyamoto Musashi proves that mastery is a lifelong pursuit, requiring dedication, reflection, and constant testing of skill and mind. From his earliest duels to his final reflections, Musashi's life embodies the essence of strategy, philosophy, and the pursuit of greatness. He fought, he learned, he reflected, and he wrote, leaving a legacy that bridges history, philosophy, and martial mastery for centuries to come. Miyamoto Musashi remains the undefeated samurai, a master strategist, and a philosopher whose life and work continue to inspire those seeking excellence and understanding. His story is not just about swords. It is about discipline, awareness, resilience, and the relentless pursuit of mastery in every challenge faced. If this story opened your eyes, remember that true mastery is never about winning alone, but about constant learning, reflection, and application of knowledge. Like, subscribe, share,